In this video, I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know about Bumblefoot in your chickens, and stay tuned till the end because I will go through some prevention methods for chickens Bumblefoot to make sure it doesn't happen again or it never happens. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So Bumblefoot, also known as pododermatitis, is quite common in chickens. When you think about chickens' feet, they do even more work than your feet. They are up and about all day, and then when they go to bed, they still stand on their feet. It's really not surprising that they do suffer from foot problems occasionally. Chicken's foot has 16 small bones in it, so that they have a great deal of flexibility with their foot and toes. As you can imagine, these bones are tiny and are subject to tremendous force at times. Injury to the bones, or more commonly the skin of chickens' feet, is a fairly common occurrence, which is what we'll talk about. So let's dive into the common causes of Bumblefoot. The few causes are obesity, which is obviously excess weight bearing. This can put pressure on the feet. Unequal weight bearing due to lameness of one foot. Also decreased blood supply or standing for prolonged periods of time. And lastly, trauma. This is the most common cause and the one I'll talk about in depth. The usual cause of evasion is the Staphylococcus aureus bacterium, which can enter the skin through an abrasion, cut, splinter, or other injury to the foot. Staphylococcus will make itself right at home in a dirty, encrusted area and set up an inflammatory response from the hen's body. The growing conditions are ideal. It's warm and moist. The bacteria have all the things it needs to start an infection cooking. Chickens walk in all manner of dirty things, mud, puddles, dirty litter, and poop. So it's no wonder why they get the occasional Bumblefoot. Now let's get into the signs and the symptoms. Usually the first sign is that you'll notice your bird limping or keeping her weight off of one particular foot, or just sitting for long periods of time. You'll need to inspect the hen's foot in order to determine what is going on. Limping can be caused by an awkward landing, also lameness, or other injuries to the leg or foot. On closer inspection, you may see some redness or swelling of the foot in the first stages of infection, and it may feel hot to the touch. The cardinal sign of a black scab, usually on the sole of the foot, usually comes a bit later on when the infection is well established. Treatment is definitely needed. Left untreated, it will cause the bird pain and suffering and may possibly even result in death. Severe cases of Bumblefoot can actually cause a bone infection, also known as osteomyelitis, which can be very painful and difficult to treat effectively. Now, we have a little infographic that shows the stages of Bumblefoot, which I will link to in the description, but let's talk about how to treat it. For the treatment of mild cases, some veterinarians recommend soaking the foot in a solution of Tricide Neo. Tricide Neo is an antibiotic treatment used on fish to treat skin ulcers and fish rot. Apparently, it's quite effective on Bumblefoot in its early stages. Epsom salt foot baths daily also help to soften up the skin of the foot. For the treatment of Bumblefoot that has the black scab present, its accepted treatment was to cut out the bumble. The bumble consists of an encapsulated, usually abscess, which can be full of hard, waxy, cheesy substance. You can stand the chicken in a warm Epsom salt bath or use iodine to clean the area really well before quote-unquote surgery. The whole process consisted of wrapping the chicken in a large towel. This enables you to control her better. Make sure there's enough towel to cover her head, keeping her in darkness, ensuring she's able to breathe. Turn the bird onto her side or back and grasp the affected foot in your hand. Your dominant hand will be holding a scalpel. Wear disposable gloves, as Staphylococcus can actually cause infection in you too. Cutting around the edge of the scab after disinfecting the area, angle the blade as if you are cutting an upside down pyramid. It will bleed a little, so use a gauze or clean tissue to keep the area blood free. When you've cut around the black scab completely, use a pair of tweezers to pull out the scab. If you've done it correctly, you will have what looks like a corn kernel. The residual hole looks very deep, so clean it well and flush it with a saline solution, then fill the hole with Neosporin ointment. Add a little packing and bandage, and as far as bandaging, you can use vet wrap or duct tape to hold the bandage in place, and then you're done. I should also add that you should definitely talk gently and soothingly to your hen all the time. It helps her to remain calm and not struggle with you. Dressings should be changed daily to ensure the wound is healing. The hen should be discouraged from roosting. If you can, get her to rest on soft bedding for a few days. Some hens just have to roost. If you have one of these, try to pad out her usual perch. With our chickens, we've done 3 successful excisions, traumatic for all of them, and there really is no local anesthetic you can use since they cause heart problems with chickens, unfortunately. Local Local veterinarians will do the same thing. They may use a general anesthesia, but some don't, since chickens tolerate anesthesia poorly. Although my hens laid still the whole time and didn't fuss, you just know it has got to hurt. Rushing through the procedure wasn't an option since I didn't want to have to do it a second time. Now I have outlined the process for removing a bumble, but if at all possible, please take your hen to the veterinarian for this treatment, as they can prescribe suitable painkillers. Now let's talk about the prevention of bumblefoot. But before I get into that, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also subscribe to our website, thehappychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description, you'll receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, so as with most things, prevention is better than the cure. But sometimes, even with the best intentions and care, bumblefoot can still occur. Here are several things you can do to reduce the chances of bumblefoot in your flock. First thing, clean your coop and bedding. The first and most important is just clean and fresh bedding in the coop. Now, you don't have to change it daily, but if you scoop the poop on a daily or every other day basis, it prevents buildup of bacteria. Ensure that the nesting boxes are clean and scrape the perches if necessary. Add a little fresh bedding with herbs if you like every few days. Raking over the bedding helps keep it fresh also. You don't have to do this yourself. Throw a handful of scratch or cracked corn into the litter and the girls will do the work for you. The second thing you need to do is check your perches. Make sure to check your perches for sharp edges or splinters. Run your hand over the surface of your perches, and if they feel rough, sand them down until they are smooth. There is no reason why you cannot use natural tree limbs for perches as long as there are no rough spots. If you have large birds like Jersey Giants or even Orpingtons, you should consider having your perches no more than 18 to 24 inches high off the ground. The next part is a diet. Feeding your ladies an appropriate diet with all the vitamins and minerals they need for a healthy body won't prevent the occurrence of bumblefoot, but it will help them fight off any infection and help with faster healing time. Now, while I'm on nutrition, also do not overfeed your hens. There are certain breeds that have the propensity for becoming obese. These birds need to be monitored carefully, as an overweight hen is more likely to suffer from foot or leg injuries because of her weight. So make sure they have the correct amount of protein, because too much protein can exacerbate foot or joint problems. And lastly, foot inspections. Now, regular foot inspections should be practiced. You should incorporate it in your monthly health checks. And if you want to know more on how to do a health check, I've done a video on that, which I'll link to here. By spotting a problem in the early stages, you are saving yourself some time, money, and effort, not to mention saving your hen from pain and suffering. Try to remove any sharp objects or other potentially harmful debris from the coop and surrounding area, anywhere where the chickens may roam. I usually carry a small plastic bag with me when I'm wandering the yard. Nails, screws, bits of wire, even brittle plastic can cause injury to the foot. So all in all, bumblefoot is a simple problem to deal with if discovered early on in its course. As the infection gets more entrenched, it becomes more difficult to treat. If you do regular health checks on your ladies, you should be able to pick up on bumblefoot pretty early and quickly treat it. Sometimes catching your bird is an exercise in patience and fortitude, but roosting time is best if you are suspicious of a problem with your hen. Now, some sources recommend isolating the bird because technically Staphylococcus can be infectious. In general, though, in my opinion, I would try to avoid isolating a bird, as it can cause problems with reintegrating the hen that is hurt or afflicted. If you like this video, check out this one over here. That's going to do it for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop. Thanks for listening. If you like our content, if you learned something new, share the video with your friends and like and subscribe. And with that, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.